You're crouched in the shadow of an abandoned wagon, avoiding the flickering glare of the nearby streetlight. There's a guard to your right, mumbling about the cold, two more to your left, chatting about their latest sordid adventures at the House of Blossoms. All you have to do is make it across the street and you're home free. You could use a water arrow to douse the brazier nearby and blanket the road in shadow, or you could fire a rope arrow at an overhanging beam and use the rooftops to reach your goal. Hell, you could just make a run for it. You make your choice because you're Garrett the Master Thief, opportunist extraordinaire, magpie in man's clothing, and you never let a bauble go unpilfered. At least that's how the story of Thief begins. Within the first hour, Garrett's simple existence starts to unravel as he finds himself plunged into a shadowy, far-reaching conspiracy. It's not always surprising in the directions it takes, but the plot is gripping enough. The character of Garrett is lifted from the anti-hero playbook, but those who remember the original games will recall his honour among thieves attitude and his love of patience and efficiency. The supporting cast is a rogues gallery in the truest sense, all attempting to use Garrett as a tool to enhance their own fortunes. It's nothing we've not seen before, but the script is well written and well delivered, even if the juxtaposition of American accents with British regional dialects is as jarring here as it has ever been. You're tasked to use Garrett's agility and natural gifts to break into or out of a variety of establishments and misappropriate all that glitters. Controlling the thief is easy once you get the hang of it, though initially those used to free-running in other games might be a little perplexed at the controls. Before long though, you'll be leaping and dashing around the city and her dishevelled environs like you've lived there all your life. In keeping with the series' established lore, Garrett's false eye is present, though it's less steampunk this time round. You can still use it to zoom in for better targeting or to survey routes, but it feels less essential than it once did. Instead, you have focus mode, which highlights objects in the world such as trinkets, traps and means of access. It also slows time during combat, allowing you to dodge and counter easier. Garrett is tough, but guards are certainly tougher, and the slightly underdeveloped combat means if you find yourself surrounded by thuggish watchmen, you're probably going down without some quick thinking and quicker fingers. The NPC behaviour in general is where Thief falls down more often than not. It's a game built on the principles of planning, patience and precision, yet it rarely calls for either of the three. Inconsistent rules are a blight throughout, as you can interact with certain objects and not others. Guard behaviour never varies either. There's nothing dynamic or procedural. The guards repeat dialogue and actions, announcing loudly when they're going to handily fall asleep, or occasionally standing like mannequins. These things are annoying, but not game-breaking, especially when Thief conjures such a wonderfully oppressive atmosphere elsewhere. You're always in darkness and the light is your enemy. Candles can be snuffed, lights switched off, fires doused, and you can identify approaching watchmen by sound. As long as you're shrouded in darkness and they're not wielding torches, you'll get by unscathed. But like all good stealth games, it's often more fun when your plans go south. Luckily, Garrett is well armed with a variety of weapons and curatives which can be accessed at the touch of a button. You can also buy trinkets to enhance your abilities and tools such as a wrench and wire clippers, so you can revisit previous areas and polish off the collectibles in Metroidvania style. In addition to the physical stuff, Garrett's natural abilities can be improved by buying focus points from the Queen of Beggars, who is a blind matron who preaches to the down and outs in a makeshift church. Every building you enter can be ransacked, every drawer and cupboard can be searched, most pockets can be picked. Your goal here is to steal, and steal some more. Picking locks is surprisingly easy, and searching paintings for secret switches is no more complicated than waiting for the pad to rumble and hitting the trigger. But it all feels incredibly satisfying. What Thief loses due to odd AI, it gains in the very act of theft. Graphically, Thief is not the game that shows what next gen can do. Impressive lighting and detailed environments are major boons, but the cutscenes have a strange grainy style and suffer from stop-start animation. It is, however, hugely atmospheric, a world of cloying shadows and dancing flames of grit, grime and gristle that feels like a mesh of Sherlock Holmes' London and Bill the Butcher's New York City. With sharper AI and more considered NPC behaviour, Thief could have been a masterpiece. There are true flashes of brilliance, and they're not rare, but they're almost always offset by something that breaks the immersion or otherwise shakes the foundations of the game world. Not one of Thief's flaws are a major problem, but together they rob this reboot of true greatness. Still, for fans of macabre stealth, there's nothing like it on PS4 or Xbox One, and despite a few issues, Thief does a solid job of satisfying the kleptomaniac within all of us.
A fine piece.